guys, this is Obsidian Chill. I've got a video for today, and I just want to do a brief intro until we get to the spreadsheet. So if you're watching this video or watching this video in the future, this video and the one that precedes it will be the most updated damage values for all pets in the entire game. We're thinking non-tier pets, sidekicks, henchmen, and also the tier system pets. This will also be the final time I update all the pet damage. The reason why is that the tier system was created and maintained and balanced by a developer named Sharon, who's no longer with DC, and he hasn't been with some time. So that's why we've had no orbitals, no supply drops, no pet trinkets, and the only henchmen we've got have been just bad reskins. So I don't foresee us getting any of those in the future because he was the only developer working on it. So that's why this will be tested at maximum CR as of the recording of this video, which is CR 414. The other reasons why is that there's a very large time sink going into this. So with the tier system, there's 65 tier system pets, and I have to do 3 parsers, and I do that twice. So one's for a set for AOE, one for single target. So that's 390 tests. Then for the non-tier, there's 25. So 25 times 3 times 2, that's 150 tests. And for the henchmen, there's 52, and that's 312 tests. So altogether, it's about 852 parser tests that have to be completed for this video and the one that precedes it. So it's a lot of time, and if it's not going to be updated, there's not much point. So without further ado, let's get into the spreadsheet and show you those rankings. Okay, so in this video, I will be covering the tier system single target and the tier system AOE. The next video will be the henchmen. As well, the values on the spreadsheet will be included on my official Discord, which is linked in the description under the Pet DPS channel, or the Pet Testing channel, I forget exactly what it's called, as well as I will upload all the values to the DCUO census website as well, or you can find it in this video as well. But just in case if you want to refer to that in the future, these are going to be the 3 sources. And I may post it on the forums as well. So the one thing to note main with the tier system is how they differentiate between the pet trinkets as well as the turret pets. So you have single target pets, which I'll cover more on the single target one, but the main thing to note is with these is that they deal all their damage within 10 seconds. Compared to the pet trinkets, which are over 60 seconds. So there's going to be situations where, say if it's like a small set of ads where you have to kill them, and then by the time you kill them, the next set is either farther away or you have to run down a hallway. If you still have your pet out, you're going to be missing damage because it's obviously not dealing damage, or you haven't reached that second set of ads yet. So there are situations where you may want to use the AOE turret, which is going to be similar damage, only about 300k less, but that's over 10 seconds as opposed to waiting another 50 seconds to have all this average out. The main thing to note as well with the tier pets is that they're kind of separated into 3 categories essentially. It's either going to be a box clone or drone clone, or basically a bat clone. That's why we have multiple bats, there's multiple drones, and multiple boxes. That's why all their damage values are very similar. So if you're looking at here, even if you're looking at the top 5, like we got basically 1.6 mil, but 25 all the way up to 62. So there's only 40k difference between pretty much the entire tier 1 pets. Moving to tier 2, the only one I'm missing is the angelic drone. This only comes during the extra life event. Other than that, it's not available from the pet vendor. I don't recall if there is a tier 2 one, which would be 400 source marks. The tier 3 are 300 source or 700 source marks. The tier 1s are 100 source marks. I can't recall if there's a tier 2. Because I'm pretty sure I would have bought it if there was, but if there is, then once again, you most likely would use the tier 3 version anyway. So we'll kind of glance over the tier 2 values as well. As you can see, they pretty much remain the same. Bat drone, alpha box, brainiac drone, mother and father box, same thing. Father box, alpha box. So you're going to have tiny variations in these parsers. They're not going to be the exact each time, just based on their hits, but they're very balanced. As you can see here, the difference between them is not that much, like 20k difference between all the pets. And then finally, we get to the tier 3. This is the one that most people are going to be looking at because these are the pets that you should be running as their maximum damage. Because pet damage is based on CR, that's why you could, a brand new player to the game could buy one of these off the broker, or get them to drop and use that and have the maximum damage available to them, rather than the tier 1 or tier 2. I also noted here that this is just a weapon tap. So just a weapon tap crit was 10k. So when you think of the difference here is, oh, what's the best pet? It's mother box. But Legion Drone was only 3k behind that, and Bat Drone was 4k behind that. So if a weapon tap is 10k, then really you're looking at pretty much any of these pets here, from Freeze Drone, Alpha, like the top 6-7 pets, are all a weapon tap difference between them. So ideally, the point of the tier system was that they were all supposed to be pretty much balanced within each other, and then it basically comes down to your choice. Do you like the bat drone more? Do you like the freeze drone more, which is a survival mode pet? Do you like the mother box more? But if you want the definitive answer, yes, mother box will do the highest damage. But as you can see here, the damage is minimal between them all, so it comes down to which one you want to use. We also have much more of the AOE targets, so they're doing about 1.4 million damage on 5 targets in 10 seconds. Which is not bad. So it's a 400k less than say mother box, but if you're still doing well over 1 million damage in 10 seconds on ads, those situations for clearing ads faster can be much beneficial. Moving over to the single target, we'll kind of glance over this same thing, that the boxes stay about the same. Same thing that the drones, and we'll kind of swap. Controlled Starros, sometimes these are a little hit or miss, depending on how their damage is. That's why you may see much higher on single target than versus AOE. And then moving to the tier 3, same thing, I just showed the weapon tap damage. We move from tier AOE 1.8 to 1.24 on single target. Mother box is still up there. Freeze drone, that's survival mode 1. Father box, bat drone, vampire bat. So once again, so if you look here between, we've got mother box as being the clear favorite. But then all the other pets here, we got 2.44, 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, 4.8. So once again, they're very small difference between them. So ideally, it just comes down to the pet that you want to use. So when I say tier system versus non-tier is the pets that are not being updated. These have never been updated again. These pets are from like the beginning of the game, seasonal pets, stuff like that. So these ones do not scale at all like the tier system does. The other difference is that, an example I showed here, when you think of like the Boo utility belt, yes, that's going to be the strongest. Obviously, your 2.6 mil, your CR drops to 408, and you use the utility belt. The main difference that you have to think about is that the tier system pets all have a beam that penetrates to a secondary target, which I'll link that video where I show that in the description as well. So even though Boo utility belt was 2.6 mil, if I do 5 targets, it says 3, but it was on the 5 targets. It's just that mother box didn't hit them all. It's 2.7 mil. So just with having one beam target. So if I go back to AOE here, mother box was 70 hits and 1.8 mil. Now, if it hit one extra target behind it, it went to 110 hits and 2.7 mil. So that's the advantage of the tier system pets, is that they can hit targets behind it where none of the tier pets will fall under that. So Joker's Flying Jester Drone, that's the Collector's Edition one. I have it, but I don't have a villain at CR414, and nor do I plan to get one. We also have the Death Blossom, Eerie Pumpkin Jack, and Blossoming Spore. They do a fake damage hit at the end for about 400k at this CR. So if you'll see that on the parser, but it does not reflect on the scorecard at all. So that's why you have to subtract those values to incorporate that. Then we have the Servo Drones, the Summer Event Trinket, Collector Edition Bat Drone. We have all the Boos individually. We have the Boo times 2 and 3, as well as the Summer Event Melee. So that's the same thing. So Summer Event Melee, you may think, oh, that's doing 2.2 mil, but all these other ones are doing 1.8. Same thing. You got to factor in that the potential beam targets, as well as the difference between the Summer Event Melee and range, if it's not in straight melee range, drops off to 674k. So it's a massive difference from 2.2 mil to 670k. And you're not going to always be melee the entire time. So basically what to take away from this is that you still ideally want to use the Boo Trinket if you have it. You just basically summon it before a boss fight and then change armories. That's what most players do. But you're just not using that continually throughout the fight. And that's when you want to use the AOE tier system pets. So jumping over to single target, again, not much change. The Boo utility build's 1.4 mil. And then we've got the individual ones. So I know a lot of people, you see them using this. There's some ones like Heartthrob that may give like bonus effects like 5% health or the debuff. So you do see them being used, except that you're not using them for damage. There are some secondary effects of them. Same thing like say like Blossoming Spores when it explodes, it heals allies. So there are some secondary reasons to use these, unlike the tier system ones, which basically is just straight damage. They do have some CC components to them, depending on if they add to 0 willpower or not. But that's essentially what the damage values are going to be. So like I said again, this will be posted in my Discord on the DCUO Census website, the DCUO forums, and you can always refer to it in this video. And the next one, I'll have the Henchmen. So take care, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.